Hello, Anashe, and this is the last 7 questions in the YouTube Pagan Challenge of 2016. I haven't really managed to finish them all. I haven't managed because I'm busy and I don't always feel like to stand in front of a camera. So let's answer those now and finish this year and begin the new challenge, that I do not promise in any way to give you a weekly video of. So let's start with question number 46. How do you talk to non-pagans about paganism? It depends. First of all, I don't speak to hostile people. I don't converse with them. Hostile people, if they are hostile, one should not really converse with them, in my opinion. Sorry, let me put my thing on quiet. Okay, my cell phone is on quiet. On people who are interested in paganism and who do want to know about paganism, I usually talk first of all about general paganism. I'm talking about the historical aspect of paganism. The fact that even today most of the world's countries are in a sense pagan. People we usually forget about the East. But if you look on India and everybody that is a Hindu, and if you look about certain countries in Africa, and if you look about the traditions of China, Korea, and countries that consist of most of the human population, most of those people are animistic, pagan people that worship the earth and worship specific deities that are of their place in different ways. Japan is animistic, I don't really know about Mongolia and every little nook and cranny and next to Siberia. But most of those places were in their very recent history pagan if they are not pagan now. So, I mentioned that. And I talk about the history of paganism in Israel, which is rampant because they keep finding pagan things even in the Western Wall and things like that. Only last Passover they found an Amenhotep the third charm buried next to the wall. So, paganism is everywhere. So I talk to them about this. And usually I don't feel the need to really fight to show the legitimacy of my faith, because it's my faith and, I live in a semi-democratic country, so I could just tell them, hey, this is what I believe in, fuck off if somebody is becoming hostile. But usually nobody gets hostile with me because I accept monotheism, I accept non-faith in anything, I accept the faith in science. I believe that the monotheist God exists. I believe that atheism was born for a reason, and usually I don't pick at other people's belief unless I have questions that interest me, and I usually try to be respectful. So that's how I talk to non-pagan people about paganism. Have you ever experienced spiritual doubt or hesitation? Oh yes, all the time. All the time. I hesitate, I doubt, even when the gods are clearly manifesting in front of me, I manifest in doubt, and I think the doubt is part of one's path, because one has to balance between, the way one sees the world and how the way one interact with it, and that has to contain some modicum of hesitation, and, everybody hesitates. And people go in and out of religions for a reason. And I have been a Levian Satanist, I have been a neo-Wiccan, I have been a general pagan, and now I'm Voodoo'ncy for the last 4 or 5 years. So, sure, I experienced hesitation, and I think it's a normal thing. And I changed according to the results of that hesitation. Okay, what is most appealing, fulfilling in paganism? I don't know, people think that a religion is for fulfillment. I don't think that a religion is for fulfillment. I think that all the things that we find, for many things that we found fulfilling in paganism today, is because it's an open source thing that we can like rebuild and reshape in our form and shape. But that's not necessarily what I find in paganism, because you know I'm not neo-pagan. I'm actually an initiate to a traditional voodoo and ile in the US. So it wasn't so much an open source religion to me. I think the type of interaction with the deity, that specific thing, is the most fulfilling for me. The fact that you can basically construct the energy of that deity with herbs and crystals, and you know, make a home for them, making a home for the deity, making like a miniature shrine. You know, the worship itself. I actually, you know, each day of the week has its own deities, and I try and worship, and you know, all the deities at least once weekly. All the deities in my pantheon, at least. So I give a lot of observances and I do a lot of ritual. Okay. How do you avoid stagnation, spiritual slumps? Well, I read all the time and I get in touch with the pagan community and I help doing events. And again, I give observances every day. It's like something I do, like brushing my teeth. I think that a daily practice, once you get into the mood of a daily practice, that you feel naked without that practice, is the way to go. Like, my advice to you, young pagans, do the simplest thing that you can do for your deities daily. Give a libation, light some incense, light a candle, pray, you know. Have that, give them a few moments of your time every day when you have that moment. And I appreciate that it's difficult when you are a parent or everything, but you can, you know, but this could be a part of what the child recognizes as a home. When the mother lights a specific type of incense and he smells that incense for a few minutes every day, that becomes like part of the sensation of home. And then I think this is a very interesting discussion about what different people do to avoid the non-practicing sort of paganism. Okay, what advice can you give to a new pagan? Okay, have good organization skills. Do not buy if you do not intend to dust it every week. And if you are about to have a stock of herbs, know how to deal with a stock of herbs. Know how to deal with your practice. Know, you know, read different opinions about different practices. Read. But also, you know, practice what you read. Don't feel insecure. And if the practice is not right for you, you will know instinctively. You don't need somebody else to tell you that your practice is not good for you. Okay, what does this time of year means for you? Okay, this was the end of the old year, the beginning of the new year, and it's now winter, which I love. I just love winter. I like the cold, I like the winds, I like the rain. I go out and having little strolls in the rain all the time. And now the new year has begun, and we did a big ritual for Yemaya and fed our community with Yemaya, with the Yemaya Ebo. And it was very good. It was a very good energetical thing. What have you learned this year? Okay, this is the last question. What have you learned this year? What is your spiritual pagan goals for next year? Well, I learned about my incapacity to sit in front of the camera every week because of this pagan YouTube channel. Forgive me, I'm drinking myself some tea and I'm having some sandalwood incense to give me some good energy here. Okay, wow, Chinese orange pu'er tea is really good. Very earthy, yet sweet, yet, yet tangy. I love it. I want to finish by next year my librarian studies. I want to be finished with this, and this is a spiritual goal because for me this is a representative of actually moving and having an adult life. I want to finish all my seminars. I want to, go on the right track to adulthood. And that's a big deal for me because I'm very much afraid of leaving my house and leaving my comfort zone. But I think this is the better thing for me. So this is my goal for next year, and this will require all my spiritual and my physical resources. Okay, goodbye and share.